Hello people, and welcome back to part 3 of our City Skylines build guide tutorial let's play. Last episode we worked on our first park, and I'm just going to go ahead and rename this here because we had a comment from Bill and Ted who suggested we name this. I think it was Sorts Park. I think that's what it was after. I want to double check that before the end of the episode because I can't quite remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it was Sorts Park, so again, thank you very much for your recommendation, dude. I'll make sure that's right before the end, don't worry. But yeah, thank you very much for the recommendation. So we now have Sorts Park in the middle, which is doing nicely. And before we kick off with today's episode, I have made a couple of adjustments off camera, which we'll run through quickly. I've expanded the Industrial Estate Road down, which is now curving right by the coast, and it's going to flow under this highway bridge here. We've also brought in a little road out of this one-way system, which is going to join up here. I'm just going to connect that up now before I forget. And it's going to be really cool to kind of see our industrial developing around the highway, which I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I'm going to bring another road down there probably. And yeah, that will connect up eventually. But for right now, we have a little more industrial demand, and I think that's what I want to cover today. Is how we can satisfy that industrial demand using the industry's DLC, because we can build some pretty nice stuff using that stuff. So that's what I wanted to try and cover today. We'll see if we get it done. So if we have a look at our natural resources on this map, and we'll see what we've got available. We have a ton of ore over here, which is cool. We also had some fertile land here, and that would have been quite nice. Maybe we can redesign that at some point to be farmland rather than the kind of horrible industry we have right now. But we also have some farmland over here, which I'm really kind of keen to exploit. We have a little bit here, but this is I want to use this as a kind of beach bay nightlife centre, if you like. I don't really want this to be farmland. We also have a little bit of forestry around here as well, but not much. Looking kind of further afield in this map, does it still keep the overlay on? No, it doesn't. We have a little bit of oil over here, and some more over there, some more ore, and there's more oil and plenty of forestry opportunities around here, definitely. Going to be dropping in a forestry commission right there, which is right next to the highway, so that's going to be super useful for it. But for right now, I kind of want to decide where I want this farmland to go. Having noticed now that there is farmland here, I'm really quite keen to turn this into farmland. I think we're going to do that. But before we do, let's have a look at some other changes. You may have remembered this road here came across vertically. It now goes horizontally. And we've also evened out the terrain here a little bit. You might remember that this road went up on a bit of a steep cliff, but now it's nice and flat and perfect for us to make a little bit of a commercial centre within these roads and make a nice bit of a feature out of it. So looking forward to doing that. But right now I really want to kind of get to work on converting this place into some nice farmland. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause the game. Because as we take this out, let's have a look at our budget. We can currently see that we're earning $677 from our industrial areas, which is pretty much half of our budget. So by removing this industry area, we are going to take quite the hit to our budget. So let's leave the game on 3 speed for right now while we paint out the area. So to create any industry area that comes with the industry's DLC, like a park area that we covered in last episode, we need to actually paint this industry area out. So I'm going to probably follow it here and just paint in this fertile land that we have over here. And I'll probably bring it up to here as well. And then what I'll do is I'll delete this residential street and remember that that isn't there. That has to be moved. I'm going to also move the fire station. That's going to cost me $200 or $2,000 to relocate. Let's not do that just yet. That's not right in the budget. Let's have a look how far we're off. So we still have a fair amount of repayments left on our budget. So let's go ahead and satisfy some of our commercial zoning demand to try and bring up some of that revenue. Let's go ahead and create a nice 4 block over here. So I'm just going to continue this high street down here. It's starting to look quite nice now. I'm not a fan of these buildings. I might actually delete that and let it rebuild. But we've got a nice high street developing right now. I'm going to keep this bit clear. And then let's kind of have a look how we're going to transition into this place right here. So what I'm thinking of doing is dropping in the botanical garden when we can afford it. This thing's going to sit right here. It's $15,000 right now, which of course we can't really afford. And then maybe one of the vanilla parks in. I don't probably want one that big. I think this one might be quite nice, and it's annoying that we are just a single block off centre, but it isn't the worst problem in the world. We can always make it look nice. And then using some of the tree assets to try to kind of make a bit of a park front right in front of our botanical garden, which is going to sit over here. So that's what I'm planning to do with this area, and then I'm just going to surround it. Oh, cool. We hit the next milestone. Fantastic. That's going to give us the money that we need. So we are now Boomtown, and that gives us another tile. Public transport, which is really cool. Can't wait to do an episode on that. We will dedicate a whole episode to public transport. And we also knocked the ferry too. That's really sweet. I really want to use the ferry. Keep an eye out for next episode. Next episode will be public transport. I can't wait to get involved with that. Ore industry specialisation, which is fantastic. Although we won't really be using it because we already have the ore industry itself. And then some new policies, which we'll cover when we get onto them. And we've also unlocked our highway roads now, which is really cool. As well as some tram lanes and bus lines as well to coincide with the fact that we have unlocked the public transport. So this is the one I want. 2 lanes going in each direction. And I'm also just going to go ahead and upgrade all of this. Remember rightly, this is what I wanted to be the highway. So I'm going to do that now whilst we have the budget. Super. So that's going to act as a nice bypass road now. And we can afford to relocate our fire station, which I'm going to drop right at the edge. Okay, so let's now go ahead and get our loans paid off. We'll pay it now and take it out again. And that's going to give us $45,000 to work with. So let's go ahead and paint out. Oh, we already did the industry area. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unzone all of this. And then as the game plays out, we will lose those buildings. They will delete themselves. So let's take a look. We have our farming industry right now. And we have a farm main building. I think I'm going to drop this. I'm just wondering where's the best place for this to sit. I don't really want this within. So I think probably here, because I want to save this fertile land space for my actual farm buildings themselves. So let's go ahead and place it right on the roadside here. And that's going to unlock a small grain silo, small animal pasture, small crop field, and small fruit field. So this is going to be really useful for satisfying our industrial demand with somewhat cleaner energy. Let's go ahead. I'm actually going to go ahead and pause the game, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I've just deleted a ton of jobs in the city, which is not particularly good for our residents because they now have nowhere to go to work apart from the commercial areas. So by doing that, I'm going to bankrupt a lot of my citizens, and I don't really want to do that. Okay, so let's have a look. So we have a small crop field, and this is going to produce crops for us. So when we're looking at the industry tab, it's kind of a flow. It's pretty similar for all 3 of them. The only thing that's changing is the resource and the production buildings. But having a look at farming, we have our extractor buildings, such as a field, and that's going to produce us crops. We then have 2 kinds of processor building, one that produces flour and then one that produces meat. And then each of those respective products is produced into a final kind of product by our factories. So let's go ahead here now and produce some small crop fields. And drop this in here. Here. Oh, and it'd be nice to have that final one in, so let's delete that road temporarily and then we'll place it back in. It was a one-way, wasn't it? Let's bring this up to here. And then we'll delete that. And there we go. Just have to rejig the roads ever so slightly from our old design. It's nothing too major. That needs to be a two-way. And this can finish off as well. Okay, so now we have these placed down. Don't worry, this pollution will go away in time. So we can change the appearance of these. I don't really want greenhouses. I think cornfields might be quite nice. Let's have a look at some of the other ones. Wheat is okay. Potatoes. Cotton. Or corn. This doesn't change the product that it produces, but it does just change the aesthetic appearance. So right now, we're going to have some people driving past our cornfield, which is going to look quite nice. Let's do the same again here. Apart from this time, we're going to place some small fruit fields in, which I think will look rather nice. Can we get it along this road here? It's not quite snapping into place, is it? If we delete this here. And we can't have that one in there, unfortunately. It's quite annoying. Have this one here. And here. That's super annoying that it won't snap onto that. Maybe we can try it this way. Let's bring this down. And go ahead and grab our... Yeah, and this is where move it. There we go. Just has to be at the right angle. Okay, so they're looking pretty dire right now because they're in the pollution, but once the pollution goes away, it'll be fine. So we can have apples, pears, or greenhouse. I think we're going to have one greenhouse on the corner there, and we're going to have the rest of these as apples. So right now, you can see this little empty box here. This is going to fill up green as the crops begin to produce, well, crops for us. It's pretty similar. Let's have a look at the pollution from this place. I might have to actually relocate my power plant, and I think I am going to do that. Let me just pause the game here, and I'm going to draw this road out ever so slightly, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my power plant. I'm going to bring it over here, and then I just need to make sure that I do actually connect this back up, and that is okay. Everyone is going to remain connected up to the power. Let's double check they are. Yeah, okay. So now we have Ivy Farmland. Again, suggestions down in the comments for the name of this farmland. I would love to hear your suggestions. So we have some policies we can apply, which is improve logistics, improve worker safety supervision, and advanced automation. So these basically improve worker happiness and product output in sacrifice for higher upkeep is essentially what these do. You can kind of get a glance for them what they do. Increases the storage capacity of processors and extractors by 20%, but also they come with an additional upkeep cost as well. So that's something to bear in mind when you are making these farm areas, and indeed any other kind of industry area. So we've got a little more farmland we can build here, and then we'll see that this will start to produce us money as it grows. So right now it's making 232, negative profit, but again, as you can see, it's producing more and more resources, and then it'll also go up another level, which will unlock more buildings for us as it grows. So that'll start to make money as it develops. Right now it won't do too great, but that's totally understandable for a brand new farm. And then I think as well, I'm just going to go ahead and try and decorate this place a little bit. So let's go ahead and grab our farm fence, which sits nicely over here. Let's have a bit of a farmland fence up there. And then also down here as well, next to this path. There we go. Right up to the end of here, and let's just double check where that extra fertile land was. We'll probably have a little bit down here as well. Right up to the highway. And then this highway can have a nice kind of farm fence flowing alongside it. I think that'll look quite sweet. Let's line this up to the dirt as close as we can. There. So now you've got a little highway. It's got a nice fence alongside it, which looks quite nice. And then we can have some more farms in here. I think that's going to look really sweet. I'm happy with that. I also like the look of the power plant right by the highway as well. I'm pretty pleased with that. So now we have a nice new farm area. It's only small, but I think for the kind of small town feel that we're going for on this island, this works perfectly. And I really like having that warehouse right on the corner of the road. It looks as though it is some kind of worker building, or where the kind of farm, the industrial farm, has its kind of different departments and headquarters and relevant HR departments, as an industrial farm would. Okay, so it's been running for a little while now, and we can see now that it has hit the worker requirements for its next level. We're just waiting for the resources produced to go up, which that is soon flying up. We're producing 240 tons of crops. And we are also making $248 as we are exporting. The 240 tons worth of export is worth $480, well $800 now, and it's costing us $232 to make sure that this farm can run. So right now we are in a profit, and as this farm continues to grow, that will grow with it as well. I think now we can probably go ahead and dissolve this road. Don't ever worry about having to make changes to your city and delete things that you've already placed. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab my fence once again. And there's no need for this path to exist. Maybe we can actually. Let's go ahead and delete this fence. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab a dirt path that our folks can walk down. Let's have it there. And all the way down here. And then this road needs to be a one-way. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. They have a way in and out. That's great. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab that fence once again. And then bring it up to here. And then just around this tree. And up to the bridge. Super. So that's looking great, and the pollution now in the land is starting to clear up. When we do eventually have a way to get rid of our landfill, we'll remove that from there as well and probably stick it over here. But for right now, that is going to do rather nicely. Fantastic. We are making, well, occasionally, when it is exporting, we will be making a profit on it. It will fluctuate slightly, but you could see earlier it was in the plus 700. And Swatch Park has leveled up, which is great news. Let's have a look and see if we can afford anything in here. City Park, Swatch Park, so we just unlocked the chessboard, which is enormous, so that is not going to fit in there on this park, unfortunately. But we will eventually unlock some nice gazebos that will fit in here. It does need a touch more entertainment to hit its next level, so let's put that in right now, just whilst we are here temporarily. Can we get another park cafe? We did have a comment from Bill and Ted, actually, now I remember. And because we are playing with the better landscaping tools, we can now place a water source, which is really cool. And I'm wondering how small we can get this without absolutely flooding our city. Let's try this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete some of this overgrowth section that we built last time. Let's get rid of all this. And then let's go ahead and make a little bit of a sinkhole. Again, without totally. Let's try and make a bit of a ditch. Just get rid of this overlay. And then brush strength needs to come down. Okay. Oh. That's a little more hardcore than what I wanted. Well, I guess it'll work. Okay. And now I want to come in with the water level. Now I'm pretty sure. Let's just kind of test this first and see how this works, because this could end up being disastrous. Okay, there we go. So we have a water source now. And that was rather large. I have a feeling that this is going to flood my entire small park. Yeah, okay. Let's not do that there. I promise we will build a pond, just not there. Let's go ahead and pop our kind of trees back in. We can have it as a little kind of sunken ditch. I don't mind that too much. And kind of place that overgrowth back in, and that'll be fine. Okay. So Farmland is doing well. It's nearly at level, in fact it's pretty much level 2 now, isn't it? Here we go. Boom, there we go. So with the level 2 we now unlock Ivy Farmland, which has reached level 2. Area bonuses, efficiency +4 and pollution -10, which is good. And we've also unlocked the flour mill, the bakery, the workers' farm barracks, a cattle shed and a small barn. So we can now start producing the other kind of product, which is meat. At the minute we're only producing crops. We've also unlocked a flour mill and a bakery. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Flour mill is here. So this is going to take our raw product, which at the minute is crops, and it's going to turn it, it's going to process it into a different product, which is flour. So it's pretty simple to understand. The building costs us 15,000, and do we have a loan available? Yes we do, we can pay that and take it. And that's going to allow us to buy the flour mill. And the second one we unlocked was the... Where was it? Was it the cattle shed? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, so the cattle shed is going to take, again, our raw crop, and it's going to turn it into meat. Now, both of these will be demanding crops from here, so we can see the flow. We can either turn these crops into flour or animal products. At the minute, we can't do either, so all of it is being exported. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually draw in that road again. Let's bring it up here. Let's turn our snapping back on. I'm going to come out from here and bring it up to there. Let's have a look at playing. We're getting some nice levels up at the moment. You can hear those dings firing away. Let's go ahead and grab the flour mill. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to push this up a little. There we go. Okay. So the flour mill is going to cost us 160 a week, which we can easily afford in our budget. And then let's place it right about here. So right now it's showing us this icon. It's saying I've not got enough raw materials. I cannot turn any crops into flour. However, once the AI realizes this, you'll see that it will start to receive imports from the local farmland. People will start to drop products off at this street here, which is great. Let's give it a minute. I also want to add in a couple of these trees alongside this path. And I want to kind of decorate this area. Let's increase that brush strength a little. I'm still getting used to playing with this thing. I'm so used to placing trees manually that I have to go for brush strength again, increase the strength of it. There we go, let's bring some around the edge of this place. There we go. There you go, that's a little bit better. That's what I wanted. Surround this building with trees. So again, it's just going to help it stand out. And because this place is quite countryside-y, I do want it to be within the countryside. So again, just make sure that, yeah, people can definitely get in here. So the AI will take a couple of minutes to realise that it needs raw materials. And then you can see now that this path has opened up, and when this does start to receive raw materials, it will eventually start to produce us flour, which will then be exported from the city, which is great news. So we do have the worker capacity for 350 workers, and we currently have 215. Actually no, sorry, that's the wrong way around. We have the capacity for 215 workers, and to get the next level we need 350. And then you can also see we need to produce 1500 resources. And you can see now the flour mill has had a delivery, it's received crops, it's turning it into flour, and that will begin exported. When we do get later on into the Let's Play, we will unlock some nice factories. And then these factories can be used to produce special goods. So, but we're a while away from that just yet. Let's go ahead and have a look at finishing the episode off with our little kind of commercial frontage that I wanted to work on as well today. Over here, so I want to use the botanical gardens for definite. I'm going to place this right there. Slightly annoying that it is just off-center, but it isn't the biggest issue in the world. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at this here. I want to go ahead and grab some of my dirt paths. I want to leave snapping on for this. So actually, I think I might use some of the park path with decorations. So I'm going to go ahead and leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go in the 6th space and bring this up. Not sure why it won't let me. There we go. And then again on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th space. Bring that up to the top. Then we have a nice gap in the middle. And then probably about here. I would say I'll allow it to create a bit of an intersection. That's kind of annoying that it is doing that. Let's go ahead and drop it in from there. Let's turn off our snapping for this. If you turn off snapping while you're moving paths, it will allow it to place it much closer, which is always nice. I want to go ahead and create a few meadows in front of this. Let's have some nice colourful meadows. Actually, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to create a nice repeating pattern. So I want the brush size to remain single, and let's place this down here. So it's not really the frequency I want them placed at. Let's bring them a little bit higher. Okay, that seems pretty good. And again. Okay, but they're nice and evenly spaced thanks to the brush tool. Let's do the same again over here. A little bit unevenly spaced there, what that should do. And then we can pretty much just follow the same pattern here with the rest of them. Now I'm going to place some of these purple ones on the side paths. Now I'm going to also fence this area in as well. Again, you'll see it's just going to help separate this area away from the rest of the city. Let's bring that up here. So this is just like a nice little meadowed garden in and around what will be a relatively active commercial front. And then I think we're going to finish off this episode by looking to plan out the next part of this town, which is going to be our beachfront nightlife. And let me drop in a couple of the old redwoods here, in and amongst the kind of empty fields. Maybe we can actually have, let's have a look here. So let's kind of use these spaces to decorate your city. I do like doing this quite a lot, you know, a nice little finer detailing stuff with some bushes around the entrances. You find as you just kind of look around your city, if you're just kind of observing, you'll notice all these nice little details that you've done, and it really does help your city kind of pop, which is always nice. Let's bring in a couple more bushes around the entrances here. And then we've already got some nice decorations on the paths with the city park stuff. And that's going to look really nice. Okay. let's zone up the back of all this with solid commercial. And the sides as well. Probably have a little bit here. And then over here too. And then over here to an extent. We'll delete that and that one. Okay. So that developed off camera now. So this place now needs to be kind of looked at as to what's going to happen down here in the future. And I think around about... let's see if we can kind of connect this as centrally as possible. Okay, I do want that road to come a little further out. Let's try it there. How's that for terrain generation? Yeah, that seems to be okay. So what I'm looking to do here is to draw a nice beachfront with a high street and have a lot of kind of nightlife and commercial down here. We have also unlocked the ferry, which I am super excited to have along here. This is going to be really cool to have people ferried around the islands in this map. We can see the poo is flowing out to sea, which is great news. Yeah, this guy is still waiting to receive his crops, but we are producing at least some flour, and it will stabilise as we produce more. Otherwise, guys, that is going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really liking this kind of little cute farm we've got going on. We'll add a couple more crop fields onto where that little highway extension road comes off, but other than that, this farmland won't get any bigger. We will do another big one when we come across some more fertile land, of course, but for right now, for the kind of small town vibes we're going for, I think this is a nice size, and of course that garbage dump in the back will be removed once we empty it and just kind of finish off the aesthetic touches of this area before we move on to a different part of the map. So farms can look really nice, and they're a good way of satisfying that industrial demand without using the horrible pollutive industry stuff, and they're a good way to make some decent money as well. As you can see, we're making 800 from just a single farm area, which is decent, and more than we were making from our industry, if you remember, before we unzoned. If you did enjoy the video, a like below is very much appreciated, and equally as much if you hated the video, then please feel free to leave a dislike too. Otherwise, guys, we'll leave it there, and I'll leave you with a nice little cinematic spin of the new farmland. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.